I'm Mari. Hope you're having a good day, and I hope this video makes your day just a little bit better. Okay, so we are going to be watching Winter Soldier's OT on become unkillable. Aimo Koivunen. I butchered that. I am so sorry. I'm really sorry. I'm trying to be very respectful here, but we're watching more TheFatElectrician. You guys have heavily requested this. Shout out to Sene for recommending this video on the Discord. You guys should join the Discord. It's time for history lesson with our dad. I don't know who my dad is, but if I knew who my dad was, I'd imagine it's probably like this guy.
Military Special Forces guys doing meth while skiing. Did I get your...
Okay, let me rephrase that. I'd imagine it's a guy that would tell me stories about like history and war, not start off the video like that.
Attention. Today we're talking about Aimo Koivunen, the Finnish Special Forces soldier that took his entire unit's supply of crank and then proceeded to troll the Soviets and himself for 2 weeks about it. March 18th, 1944, Aimo and his friends, a small group of Special Forces Finnish soldiers, have just...
My dad went to get the milk. Oh, I don't know how to explain this to you, but like, I'm lactose intolerant. I would be more believed if he went out for cigarettes or like booze or like Pepsi, but not milk, bro. Not milk.
Finished conducting a 3-day-long ski patrol and are returning back to base when they are ambushed by an entire platoon of Soviet soldiers. They have nowhere near enough men to fight back. They have to retreat and get away. In order to do so, they go off the beaten path and attempt to blaze their own trail through unpacked snow. Aimo, as fate would have it, would be the point man, having to do the majority of the work as far as beating down the unpacked snow goes. Now, they've been out skiing.
My mom left to start a different family. Bro, are you okay? Are any of us okay?
For 3 days straight, everybody's exhausted, but the level of work that Aimo is having to dish out is almost unbearable, and he's unable to set a pace that is going to allow them to escape. And the Soviets are catching up. So Aimo decides to take the high road, reaches into his pocket, and pulls out a bottle, and inside of that bottle is all of his and his buddy's supply of Pervitin. Aimo had been given all of it because everybody knew that Aimo didn't care for taking Pervitin, and this meant that Aimo would keep it safe and nobody else would dip into it when they weren't supposed to. And if you don't know, Pervitin is the German miracle drug that came out in 1938, also known as meth. And just to be clear, this isn't like Jesse Pinkman cooking it in the back of a van, putting chili powder in it. This is high-quality pharmaceutical grade nose torque, okay? This is inhalable horsepower, and this man's about to take some.
God right.
So Aimo pops off the lid and he wants to dump a single pill into his hand, which is the recommended dose. The problem is the Pervitin has been sitting in his pocket, half of it warm against his body, the other half getting cold against the outside of his jacket, and it is now congealed into one gigantic meth nugget. And the whole... Into
one giant mega pill, bro? Bro, okay, funny little story. Right before I started watching this, I went to go pick up my Adderall, which is the legalized civilian version of stuff. And so, like, you know, military grade is pretty insane, bro. Like, I already know what my pharmaceutical version does this for me, right? And I'm just like, bro, that's like me taking my entire 30-day supply, bro. That's crazy.
Whole nugget falls into his mitten. He's unable to break off a singular piece because, well, he has mittens on and he doesn't have the dexterity, so he says, fuck it, and eats the entire nugget of meth. Which was roughly 30 pills at one point.
What did I just say? What did I just say? That's like me taking my entire 30-day supply. That's literally like me taking my whole supply of Adderall and just downing it, bro. And like, I'm just like, how did he not die?
Okay, fast forward like 45 seconds. Aimo feels incredible. He is a new man. He has gone from dragging balls to tripping balls, and he has had a life-altering revelation that he's been put on this planet to do 2 things and 2 things only, and that is to outrun the Soviets and steal catalytic converters, and those aren't even going to be invented for like another 35 years. So guess what we're doing? We're outrunning these Soviets. This man begins blazing a path through unpacked snow quicker than anybody ever has, ever. And the Soviets are just watching these guys take off like a rocket, like...
They've gone to plaid.
Over the course of the next hour, they managed to outrun the Soviets so bad that they just gave up. So they finally stopped, they regrouped, they wanted to see if anybody had been shot, they wanted to make sure everybody was doing okay before they carried on with their mission and journeyed back home. At that point, Aimo did not sit still. He is pacing, he's walking around, he's talking to himself, and that's when his buddies realized, oh boy, Aimo is higher than draft pussy on a extension ladder, we gotta do something. So they decide it's probably a good idea to take away all of his ammunition and his knife so he doesn't hurt himself or somebody else. So they take the ammo away from him, they turn around, they go to put it in somebody else's backpack so they can carry it, turn back around, Aimo is gone. Fast forward an unspecified.
Bro, so he has no ammo, no weapons, nothing to defend himself, and he is gone. Bro left, dude. He left, bro. Bro saw the Lord was like, come to me, my child. And he's like, okay, dad. And like left, bro. He's gone. He's on a journey. He's following the north, the south, the east, and the west stars all aligning together into Saturn's butthole. Like, oh my gosh, bro. The rings, man. The rings.
Specified amount of time later, and Aimo wakes
Came
up,
the Doomslayer.
looks around, has no idea where he is. You see, Aimo had blacked out. And when I say blacked out, I don't mean he laid down and fell asleep. I mean he proceeded to ski 62 miles in a random direction and then laid down and fell asleep. And he is now just waking up, realizing that he has no recollection of which direction he went or came from, and he has no idea where he is. At this point, a Soviet soldier hops out from behind a tree and begins shooting at Aimo. Aimo panics, gets to his feet, grabs his gun, lifts it, fires at the Soviet soldier, click, balls. His friends had taken all of his ammunition. So he grabs his empty gun and throws it at the Soviet soldier. It hits him and he explodes into a pile of snow. Aimo, what the f***, looks up. Oh.
No way. No way. He threw it with that much force. Bro, like, exploded in the snow. What?
It was just a tree branch covered in snow the whole time.
Oh.
He is now hallucinating.
Okay, never mind. I see. So we're in Delululand. Okay.
So, not really knowing what else to do, he straps his skis back on and proceeds to ski around looking for his friends or anything, really. And after an hour or two, thank God, he sees his friends camp off in the distance and they have a fire going. It's all gonna be okay. We're good. He's gonna be saved. So Aimo takes off skiing towards the camp. He's skiing. Aimo skis right into the middle of the camp. Cool guy power slide. Psh. Friends, did you miss me? He looks at his buddies. His buddies look at him. He looks at his buddies. Those aren't his buddies. Those are the Soviets. Balls. Time to go. Aimo takes off again. The Soviets attempt to chase him for a little bit, but I mean, the man is basically tweakers on ice right now. You've got no chance at actually catching him. So Aimo then proceeds to ski until he's tired, and then he lays down and goes to sleep just on the ground outside. He wakes up, it's dark out, he can't see anything, and he realizes, hey, I'm hungry. So he gets a fire going, and then he walks around grabbing some pine buds and leaves and whatever else he can find, sticking it in his canteen cup, grabs some snow, puts that in there, cooks it over the fire, and kind of mashes it all together in this like pine bud stew type
gross,
thing. He eats
bro.
it, he thinks it's delicious, one of the best meals he's ever had because, well, meth. Then he goes back to bed. Wakes back up, still full of energy, decides that he's gonna go look for his buddies more. He skis around, he skis and he skis all day long, and then he finds a cabin. He walks up to the cabin, grabs a doorknob. It's real. It's not a hallucination. So, next thing, he strips all the copper out of it. No, I'm just kidding.
What?
He opens the door because it's unlocked, because this is a tradition in this part of the world where there's, you know, people could freeze to death. You just leave the cabin unlocked in case somebody is in Aimo's situation. You don't want them to freeze to death. So, Aimo goes inside, he gets a fire going. Now, because of the meth, Aimo elects to light the fire in the middle of the cabin on the floor rather than...
No. Bro. Oh, no. Oh, no.
in the fireplace because, you know, meth. He then proceeds to go to bed, and all throughout the night, the fire keeps getting hotter and hotter, so he keeps like shimmying away from it and shimmying away from it over and over again. And then finally, his back hits a wall, and he wakes up and realizes that the entire cabin is on fire. So he's like, balls. So he gets up, goes outside the cabin, puts his back against the wall of the outside of the cabin, and then goes back to sleep. Meth.
Bro.
So Aimo wakes up again. It's dark out. He hears growling off in the distance as there's a pair of yellow eyes staring at him. He looks behind him, the cabin completely burnt to a crisp as these eyes keep getting closer and closer, and there's growling, and out of the shadows leaps Hugh Jackman. Wait, what the meth?
What?
So, sorry, Wolverine, not the Wolverine. The
Oh,
Wolverine,
oh.
still, I mean, it's better, but not a lot better. Okay.
Bro, you had me there, dude. I was like, no way, man. That's so crazy.
Okay, this thing is 65 pounds of teeth, claws, fur, and bad attitude. And this thing will absolutely kill Aimo if Aimo lets it. Aimo is now in a fight for his life, so he pulls out his knife and begins fighting a Wolverine while tripping out on meth.
What?
He is kicking and punching and stabbing this Wolverine, and he finally gets on top of the Wolverine as he straddles it and plunges his knife into the Wolverine's chest as the life from the Wolverine leaves its body and it falls limp to the ground. At that point, Aimo remembers, wait a minute, my friends took my knife. He looks at his knife. That's not his knife. That's his compass, and now it's broke. I mean, also kind of cool, though, because he just killed a Wolverine with a compass. He looks down at the dead Wolverine. He's sitting on top of a log. He had hallucinated the entire thing.
That's insane. So funny, bro. He's gone.
Again. Meth. So Aimo gets up off the log that he just killed, looking around, not knowing what to do. In the darkness of night, he sees a fire off in the distance. So he straps on his skis and starts making his way towards that fire. And he's skiing, and he's skiing, and he's skiing all night long. And he's going, and he's going, and this fire is not getting any closer. It's almost like it's running from him, and he keeps going towards it and towards it longer and longer. And finally, dawn breaks, and Aimo realizes that he's been chasing the North Star, thinking it was a fire for like the last 8 hours.
No way.
Because meth. So now it's morning. Aimo still has no idea where he's going, so it's like, well, better find some copper. I mean, my friends. He's got to find his friends, so he just starts skiing around looking for any signs of human life at this point. And he's skiing, and he's skiing, and he's going, and he's going. And he finally comes across this abandoned German forward observational base, and he starts making his way towards it. The problem with this was, whenever the Germans abandoned something in World War II, they usually booby-trapped it, and that's what happened here because Aimo skis over a landmine, blowing up his foot, throwing him to the ground, and Aimo's like, that's it, I'm dead for sure. There's no way I'm making it out of this. And he just lays there. We have no idea how long he laid there. He said he laid there for a week, but that dude's high as a kite on meth. He could have been there for 45 minutes. We have no idea. But he lays there and he lays there, literally too high to die. And then he just gets bored and he's like, fine, I'll live. And he gets up and he starts walking back towards the base again. He makes it all the way to the building, you know.
Wait, how is he walking if he blew off his leg? Well, actually, wait, did he blow off his leg? Is he just a one-leg guy? Like, is he crawling? Like, what?
Grabs a doorknob. Well, at least the base is real. The landmine sure as was real. The base better be real. The base is real. Grabs a doorknob, opens the door. That's booby trap 2. Blows up in his face. Yeets him 30 yards the other direction as he lands flat on his back with the door on top of him. And he's like, okay, now, for sure, I'm gonna die. There's no way I'm making it out of this. I'm done. And he just lays there. He completely gives up and he just waits for death to come get him. And he's laying there and 1 day passes and 2 days pass and 3 and 4 and 5 and 6, 7 days pass and he's still just laying there like this is taking forever. And then finally some Finnish soldiers come up and are like, hey, do you want some help? And he's like, holy sh.
7 days and he's still high? Oh.
Yeah, that'd be great. So the Finnish guys start making their way over to him, and then one of them steps on a landmine, and then the other 2 Finnish soldiers are like, well, we can only save one of you, and we're gonna save the guy that we came with. If we get this guy saved, we'll let him know to come back and save you later. Peace, goodbye. And just left him laying there again. So he thinks to himself, maybe if I can survive a couple more days, I might actually make it out of this. So he starts trying. He gets a little fire going next to him. He starts melting snow in his canteen cup to drink water to hydrate. A Siberian jay at some point lands next to him, and he takes a ski pole and smacks it to death, pulls the Siberian jay over to him, grabs it, and just Ozzy Osbournes this bird raw, just eats the whole thing, trying to get any amount of calories inside of him. And then, after 3 more days, they come back and they save Aimo, and he completely blacks out. Aimo comes to, he's in a Finnish hospital where he's informed that he has been missing for 14 days and they found him 250 miles from where he originally departed his friends. He now weighs a mere 95 pounds and has a resting heart rate currently of 200 beats per minute, 14 days after taking all of the meth. So Aimo proceeds to do the logical thing, makes a full recovery, and lives a long, happy life until passing away at 71 in 1989 because he's Finnish and that's just how they get down. Yeah, if you're not picking up what I'm trying to tell you, this man actually may have seen Star Wars, the original series, in theater, okay? Could you imagine him taking his kids to the movie theater just being like, we didn't call it the Force back in my day. We called it Pervidin. Seriously, it's pretty funny that the only two Finnish soldiers that I know off the top of my head are Aimo and Simo Hoya. Simo, deadliest sniper of all time, over 500 kills. Aimo, the most unkillable tweaker ever. Don't worry, this story keeps going. Meth. Aimo's son was interviewed about his dad, to which he said that his dad never really talked much about his time in service, but there was one point later in Aimo's life when he decided to write in to a local newspaper that was having a competition for who had the best, craziest military story ever. And he wrote his story down, mailed it in, and he was informed, congratulations, you've got second. How the f did—
Second? Are you serious? Second? No way.
This guy gets second place with this story? Did Simo Hoya enter the same competition? Because that's the only logical explanation, other than that there was some Karen on the judge board that was like, I don't know, this story seems a little too unbelievable if you ask me. Bah. To which my argument is, look at him. Do you think that guy's lying about this story? Do you really? Because homeboy looks like he's about to hit a T intersection and go straight, okay?
Bro, he still looks like he's still on it. Like, even in this photo, bro, like...
Hey, that's not hair product. He just moves that fast now. There's no way he's lying about this story, and I'm legitimately mad he didn't win this competition for some reason. Okay, this story's getting out of hand. We need to end this video. I guess, in conclusion, it's important to bear in mind with how incredible this story is that Aimo is the exception and not the example. You should not do drugs because they are in fact bad for you, okay? Don't do drugs. Also, don't fight the Finnish in winter in Finland where they have home field advantage. It's just a bad time. Anyways, thank you for—
Also, not only that, but like, bro, he could have died. Like, he could have just taken that and immediately OD'd. Like, that's it. He would have been done, gonzo, goodbye. Like, the fact that he even lived and lived for that long and then lived a full life after, like, that doesn't happen. Like, what? Bro was literally bored, dude. He was so bored. Like, oh my gosh. I just cannot believe it, dude. He became the Doomslayer of the logs. The Log Slayer.
For watching. Best way to support the channel is go buy some merch at TheFatElectrician.com. Quack bang out. So Aimo decides to take the high road, and if you don't know, stupid. A Siberian jay lands remotely close to him. He takes a ski pole, grabs
Oh
this.
my gosh. Little blooper, bro. That's so funny. I like the little blooper. It's adorable. If you want to see the uncensored versions of these videos, then check out my Patreon where I upload all uncensored content as well as some other videos on there. And let me know what your thoughts were down in the comments below. And there's anything else you'd like to see on this channel because I upload every single day. And with that, thank you so much for watching. And remember, everything reminds you of something. Bye.